Hello everybody, and welcome to kind of an unplanned video today. So I wanted to discuss Enphase Energy, one of my top holdings, and the stock is down almost 11%. And over the past month, just about, it's been down 33%. And that's not the only stock in the energy revolution space that's down, in the solar energy revolution space. In fact, all of these solar stocks have been down quite a bit over the past month. And the only narrative, the only apparent reason as to why these stocks are down is because energy prices, natural gas prices specifically, are dropping in Europe. And so because natural gas prices are dropping in Europe, traders seem to believe that the solar energy revolution is dead and that it's not going to happen and that solar is not going to get set up in Europe. That is my thesis as to why the stocks are dropping right now, which is so short term and so silly. You know, I am happy for Europe about natural gas prices going down. It's going to make a better winter for Europe. That's great. That doesn't change anything about the long-term trend of solar energy. And I guess in a way I'm happy because I'm planning on buying some Enphase tomorrow because the stock is down 11% and it's back in bargain territory, in my opinion, despite the fact that everybody seems to think that it's overvalued, just like Tesla. Apparently Tesla is also overvalued. But I don't think so. I don't think these companies are overvalued. These are my updated valuations as of today for Tesla and Enphase. Tesla is growing at 50% a year. Some Tesla bulls would tell me it's growing faster than that revenue. That's my estimate for the next 4 quarters. And how many years can it last? Can it grow at 50% for a decade? Well, if Tesla keeps growing at 50% for a decade, they would have captured 25% of the car market, just about 20 million cars out of 80 million cars sold. That would be only 25% if they kept growing at 50% a year for a decade. I believe Enphase can achieve similar, if not higher, rates of growth because, per my thesis, solar energy is already the cheapest energy out there, and it will get so much cheaper, and it will become obvious that every single family home in all countries, most places, need to have solar panels because solar panels will be sufficient to power a home. That's what Tony Seba predicts. That's what many famed entrepreneurs in this field predict. It is inevitable. It is a technology whose prices are coming down consistently, following the cost curves of Moore's law for silicon. So I believe this will happen. This is just a much better technology. And it makes sense to me that Enphase would be a little more valued than Tesla, just a tad more at 36 times enterprise value over trailing 12-month gross profits compared to Tesla, but just a tad more. You know, it doesn't make a large difference to me at this point. And look at, and I don't know if people are aware of this, probably if you're watching this channel, but if you look at the long-term performance of both of these stocks, let me show you what Tesla and Enphase have done for the past 5 years. So for the past 5 years, Enphase has done an average annual return of 128%, which is tremendous, while Tesla, 41%, which is also tremendous. And keep in mind, that's after Tesla dropping, almost 70% from its high, and now Enphase dropping more than a third from its high. That's despite the drops, they've had these outstanding compounded annual return. And if you look, you may say I've cherry-picked, took 5 years. Let's look at 10 years. Of course, over 10 years, the results are not as impressive, but they're nonetheless extremely impressive. With Enphase, average annual return over the past 10 years for Enphase, 52%, and for Tesla, average annual return, 49%. So again, much better than the S&P 500, obviously, and even more than twice as high as the NASDAQ. So these companies are riding a megatrend. I'm not the only one pointing that out. This is one of my Twitter accounts that I enjoy, Charlie Bellillo. he tweeted the most high performance stocks over the past 5 and 10 years in the S&P 500. And of course, Enphase Energy and Tesla are number 1 and number 2 for the last 5 years, and Tesla and Enphase are number 1 and number 2 for the last 10 years. So these are the best performing assets. And if you look at what are the best performing fields for the past 20 years, is what do you have? You have revolution of computing and chips, you have computers, you have entertainment, you have e-shopping, you have everything that has to do with biogen and genetics. You have, telecommunications, data centers, right? These fields are secular trends. The companies that outperform over the very, very long run typically tend to ride very, very powerful secular trends. And I believe that right now the most powerful secular trends, well, there's a lot of those, like SaaS is one of them, of course, but an even bigger one is AI, and an even bigger one, I believe for now, is energy. And we are going through an energy revolution. And this energy revolution is going to affect us all. So my humble advice, before I go into a little more on this, my humble advice is natural gas prices, they don't really matter. I mean, they go up, they go down. This revolution is inevitable. It's kind of like, going back to the early 1900s and looking at the price of a horse. Like, it doesn't matter if horses trade for a lot of money or not, because 10 years later, horses don't exist anymore and you have cars everywhere. Well, this is kind of the same way. Natural gas going up or down. Well, natural gas is competing against the technology that is orders of magnitude better, and thus natural gas is probably going to be used for other applications than, say, homes. That's not going to be used for that, because solar energy systems combined with batteries, I believe, are a megatrend that is as powerful as the internet and computing. As powerful. And why do I say that? Well, if you look at the cost declines, right? So we know that the internet and computing, all of these revolutions happen so fast because you had exponential growth based on, for example, computing how many transistors you could put on a piece of silicon. That was Moore's law. The internet was more related to how many nodes joined the network, and exponential growth related to many people joining the network all at once. Well, solar follows something very similar to the revolution in computing. This is the cost of solar panels. It's been in free fall. It's been declining, and it will continue to decline, perhaps by a factor of 5 to 10 times cheaper within 10 years. That's what we're looking at. And batteries is the same way. Like, batteries have decreased by a factor of 10 in 10 years. So batteries are 10 times cheaper today than they were 10 years ago. And the last rates of decline of battery prices has been 13% a year. If we continue to have batteries that decline in price by 13%, in 10 years, that means batteries will be another 4 times cheaper than today. And combine both, and what seems today impossible for most homes, which is actually possible, contrary to what most people believe, it's possible today for most homes to be powered by solar panels and by batteries. But within the next 10 years, this is going to become so obvious, because those prices are going to keep going down. Like, that's the beauty of a megatrend like this. And this is the trend that Tesla is riding, and this is the trend that solar companies are riding. And when you ride on that trend, you're just going to disrupt so much. And not only do I believe that the energy complex that kind of has been put forward in 2022 will see a tremendous amount of disruption, with these plants being overbuilt, that have been overpaid for, and that are not depreciated, financed over 30 years, Like, they're still building coal plants and natural gas plants. So I believe that will be disrupted, but I also believe the electric grid will be disrupted. And that's part of what Enphase may do in the future, a lot of what Tesla is doing with the virtual grid. The electric grid will be disrupted. And, this may seem as a little bullish, but in my opinion, creating your electric energy for your single-family home and your car, which will be charged at home, that will be, to me, as common as creating your own ice in the fridge. You know, you don't go to the ice box downtown to get ice anymore. You do ice in your fridge. Well, I believe the same way will be for electric for most people who have single family homes. A little different if you live in an apartment. Solar is already the cheapest source of energy out there, and it will get exponentially better because it compounds. Solar systems compound. These two cost curves will compound, so that will get even more compelling. And Enphase is my bet for this revolution along with Tesla. Tesla, obviously, more of the car and the industrial battery pack size, and Enphase, more of the homes and setting that up in homeowners. You know, Enphase rides this wave not by manufacturing solar panels, which is a more competitive industry. Enphase is riding this phase by manufacturing micro inverters, i.e. semis, like little chips that go under each panel, that installers set up under each panel, that actually cost more than most solar panels. And these chips is what Enphase is doing very, very successfully with micro inverters. So again, cheaper gas prices, cheaper energy prices does not hurt my long-term thesis, because energy will get down to pennies a kilowatt hour with this system. This is what this system enables. Solar will enable you within a short amount of time to have the equivalent of your energy cost to be pennies, maybe 2 pennies for a kilowatt hour compared to what you pay today. So it's a 10x improvement. It may be even more than that. So solar energy is not a tiny improvement. It is a major improvement. And while anyone can ignore a 20 mile an hour wind, nobody ignores a 400 mile an hour wind. And which one do you think solar energy is? Solar energy is a 400 mile an hour wind. You can't really ignore that change, because your competitors, your neighbors, they're not going to ignore it. They're not going to ignore the savings that this provides. And when a product is so compelling, it can't help but sell. And this is what's happening to Enphase. The products are selling and selling and selling, and you're just limited by how fast you can make them and how fast you can manufacture them. So this is essentially my thesis for Enphase. Very happy to buy more tomorrow. This is not investment advice, just entertainment. Thank you for your support. Thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel if you like what I'm saying here. Thank you very much and have a great day.